Welcome into the Common Dad podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, I am joined by your Grace and Ryan. What do you got going on there?
Hibachi chef, man.
Hibachi chef. Now, if you are listening, we absolutely appreciate it and we love that you're listening. But you could be a better person and watch on YouTube. If you were watching on YouTube, you would know that I am Raptor Blue. And Andrew, tell the fine folks which king you are.
You could choose. I don't want to offend anybody, so I'm not going to say I'm a king or a queen. I'm just one of the Targaryens.
Well, I can't see, so
anybody.
you're gonna have. I can't choose.
So,
you're just gonna have to tell me.
Justin, you're talking without your mouth
one.
moving. And Drew looks more like, what's Little Mermaid's dad?
Oh, King Trident. Yeah, there's a little King Trident action going on there.
Well, you know,
But
That's,
I won't
that's-
deny it.
That was my first thought.
and then Ryan, you're
I
just
think
a
Targaryen's
hibachi
more
dude, right?
relevant.
That's correct.
Just a hibachi guy. Okay, I like that.
Just a random guy from the.
Can you do the onion volcano?
Choo choo. Choo choo.
I mean, it kind of sounds like it. That's not bad.
That's
So
right.
as you can guess,
Japanese egg roll.
Japanese. There you go.
I don't
Oh,
have
that's
an
a good one.
to roll, but they're
Haven't
full of
been to
carny
hibachi.
dad jokes.
Oh,
I just thought it was appropriate.
They got them. They absolutely got them. So as you can see today is clearly, as you should see today, this microphone hitting. I apologize for it, but I am not taking this off for the entire podcast. So anyway, as you can see today is our Halloween special. Before we get started, do we think that I can drink this beer with the Raptor mask on? I've tried once. It has failed.
Define drink. Like how much of it has to actually
More
be
than half.
consumed?
More than half.
So you could spill 50% and it still qualifies as drinking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to chug this thing right now, right here. I can't do it anymore, but let's...
You should like Stone Cold Steve Austin it and just. There you go. All right.
Wow.
That looked
I'd
better
say
to
it's a
you.
success.
Well, because you can't see my face.
I'd
But
give
it
a
did
golf
work.
Clap.
It was better. It was better than the previous attempt, that's for sure.
Something
Anyway,
like that.
gentlemen, how are we doing on this fine evening?
Very good.
Good. So we had, before we get going into tonight's, real and very important topic, Elijah, my oldest, comes home from school the other day, and he said it was the best day of his life. Drew, I think you've heard this story before,
heard
if I'm
this
not
one.
mistaken. Yeah. So Ryan, this one's a good one for you. God, it's getting hot in here. That's not what he said to me. That is not what my child said to me. It's getting hot in this mask, is what it's getting. So he said it was the best day he'd ever had, and I asked him why. And apparently, on the bus ride on the way to school, some kid told him if he doesn't tell, he'll give him $1 for ice cream. So, of course, without asking what the secret was, Elijah was like, yeah, give me $1, done. So Elijah goes throughout the day. He uses his $1 for ice cream. He's so pumped about it because we pack his lunch every day. Sure. So he doesn't really get anything. He gets like Go-Gurt, which is fine, but it's not Oreo
Ice cream for lunch.
which is what he got. But man, this kid was pumped that he essentially is it blackmailing?
Not if they're offering it.
No.
up.
Right. It's just
He's paying for a service.
No, it's a bribe. The other
Hush,
kid
there you
bribed
go.
your son.
Hey, that might be better.
So
I think
he accepted a bribe. And so this is where there was a little bit of tension, and I completely failed as a father at this point because my wife asked me, she goes, okay, Elijah told me this. I don't think it's good, but it's pretty funny, and it's not that bad, right? Like, it's fine. But she was like, so he knows that this kid was doing what he wasn't supposed to do, which was getting out of his seat on the bus and sitting somewhere else. Which, whatever, every kid does it. So I was like, all right, Elijah, that's fine you did it this one time. Maybe don't do that again. If somebody's doing something wrong, you're supposed to tell. But only if it's, like, important. Which is... So, and then I tried to do some scenarios. I was like, okay, if you're on the playground and you see somebody getting beat up, go tell, definitely go tell. If you're on the playground
Only
and
if they don't pay you.
Yeah, only if they don't pay you. And he goes, okay, yeah, I definitely want to go tell on that. Okay, no problem. All right, and then if you're on the playground again and you see somebody swinging higher on the swings than they're supposed to, Do you need to tell?
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Just coming up with some stupid
Could be a
rule that they
safety
always
thing.
have. Could be a safety thing.
my
And he was like,
that
he
could
was
be
like,
broken
yeah, I should go tell. And I was like, you don't have to. And then I uttered a phrase that he'd never heard. I said, sometimes you just got to mind your business. And to which he just, and then as soon as he looked at me like that, I said, you know what? Just if you see something wrong, just call it out until we can grasp this concept.
Well, see, at their age,
I don't
I
know.
would tend to agree with you, but the reality is we're supposed to raise them and prepare them for the world as it is, and
Yeah.
I would dare say the world as it is, more people need to mind their own business.
That's true, but the problem I don't want to happen is if he sees some kid getting freaking the crap kicked out of him on the playground, and Elijah's like, mind my business,
I mean,
man.
if
I
personal
don't know.
safety comes into play, if people are getting hurt, then that's one thing. But
I don't know if he knows that difference yet. You know what I mean? Maybe he does, but was playing it safe the right call there, or should I have just told him to mind your business?
you should
I
have told him
think
to go back the next day and ask for another $1 to continue the silence. Remember that secret yesterday? Today's a whole new day.
There you go.
I can't see.
No, so I think you're on. I think at this stage, if they see something they shouldn't be, they should tell. At this stage, because what they're seeing and what they're recognizing as right and wrong is typically very black and white. And Drew, while you're right, the society at large needs to do more minding their own business. They're sticking their noses in things that are more their opinion and much less black and white. And therefore, they should mind their own business because them saying right or wrong is their opinion and not. If a kid's eating grass, probably not serious, but if it's near like mushrooms on the side of a tree, probably should say something. Let's err on the side of caution and just.
I
Is that a thing in Miami?
Not
I'm
here.
just wondering why that's the example that came to mind. Eating grass.
If you're watching on
and
YouTube,
mushrooms.
the reason I'm doing
Because
that
I was-
is I have beer coming out of my nose, but it's fine. Carry on.
trying to
It's
come up
okay.
with another example like Justin was of
We're
something
fine.
that you wouldn't necessarily tell on, like the swing going too high, but that's a safety thing. I'm
Right.
thinking if a kid was eating grass, that's probably not something you need to tell a teacher. But then
I
again,
did enable him to I was like, look, you don't always have to tell. If you see something wrong going on, you can go over and just say,
say
hey,
something.
Say something. And then if they're like, no, leave me alone, then, go to the next level. Go to your manager. But I don't know. It was a weird conversation because it was like, I think he's ready for this conversation. And he was close, but I was just like, that could backfire. So I hope I didn't create a tattletale. I don't know. We'll see. Do the oldest tend to be tattletales? I feel like.
I almost feel like it would stereotypically be the opposite.
The opposite? Maybe.
Yeah. For
The
us,
oldest are
I
going to
don't-
try to get away with something or do something
Yeah.
they shouldn't and be sneaky.
I
and
tried
the
to
younger
get away with
one,
stuff all the time.
the
Yeah.
younger
Drew
one's
was
going to
a
be like, I'm
tattletale.
going to go tell mommy,
Yeah,
Drew wasn't
that's
usually
true.
much of a tattletale, though. But it definitely wasn't the oldest. And in Yanni's family, I know her being the oldest, she wasn't a tattletale either.
Yeah. So anyway,
It's the middle
I-
sibling. It's the middle one.
Well, our middle one is he's fending for himself. I'll put it that way. He doesn't need. He's not looking for approval from mom or dad to put anybody in timeout. He's taking matters into his own hands, which
good for him.
Sometimes-
Good for him.
yeah, sometimes good for him,
Independence.
sometimes not great. But yeah, he's definitely an independent child. So, but yeah, no, I thought that was interesting. But a little hush money on the bus, I don't have a problem with that. It's money in my pocket, so that's the way I see it.
But I think that transitions us to our topic tonight.
Absolutely, it does. So tonight's topic, of course, because clearly Halloween going on here, we're going to be talking about the dad tax, which, in my opinion, doesn't come more into play. I don't know if I worded it right. It comes, you know what I'm. And during Halloween, the dad tax it's high. It's high tax season, if you will, and it's very key for the child and the parent. I would say, because as a child, what age do you start to realize that you might need to commit some tax evasion, if you will.
Tax of evasion?
Oh, yes.
Trying to avoid the dead
Okay.
tax. No, I
Yes.
understand.
That
the
tends to
question.
be
So
an older age, I would imagine, where
Yeah,
they try to
like
hide
at
the
the-
specific things. Or
It
Yeah.
depends on the kid. At the younger age, they don't even recognize it, right? It's
No, they
this
have
is
no
mine,
idea.
This is mine. This is mine. But then they go to bed and they have no idea.
yeah,
Right.
I mean they have bags full of candy. They're not going to realize the next morning when 3 pieces are missing or whatever else. But hold on, are we going to just blow right past the? Did you charge your son dad tax on the hush money?
No, he had spent it by the time. I mean, that was
He spent it on
done.
the ice cream. It's-
That
you
was
know-
under the table.
You know,
that was
if
under
I
the
don't
table
withhold
money.
my
I don't-
taxes and I get my full paycheck and I spend it, the government still comes asking.
I mean, yeah, I could
I
still
still have to pay my taxes. You
I
could go
get-
back
this
and
was-
you could hit him with that, and then you could do fees and assessments on top of that.
This was I think there's something in the Shawshank Redemption about a one-time free gift, if you will. This was that scenario. I was like, all right, we're just gonna leave that be. So
I think you
let
claim
that
it
one
during
slide.
Halloween. You take an extra 10%.
I
Yeah, I was gonna
could.
say-
He won't know.
I
Definitely
think
won't know.
I think Justin, you brought up the fact that this season is probably when tax is highest. This would be like filing your tax return here. But you
Right.
pay sales tax year round
Sure.
on
Sure.
everything.
Yeah, but this
and
is
my kids. They know we go to a restaurant and they get French fries. If I don't have French fries, they pay dad tax on
that's
those
fine.
fries.
It's coming out of your
It
Snickers.
is a
come
regular.
October.
No, I take the fries. I
Okay,
take
I'm
a
just
dad
saying,
tax on fries at restaurants. So it is a year-round tax.
Right.
However, it is felt more in October.
What was your plan when you were little to get it? Because I know, like, at a certain point, I would probably say at about just like middle school, like 6th, 7th grade, where I was like, all right, this is my candy. It's all of my candy. And what I would do, I knew Dad was going to take some, so I would bring two pillowcases, right? Because always bring a pillowcase. So you're going to get the most bang for your buck there. And then before I got home, I would dump about half of my bag into another pillowcase. And then I would say, okay, this is what I got. Second pillowcase stayed next to the garage outside when everybody went to sleep. Back outside, grab the actual stash behind my bed until it was
Now,
just
at
gone.
what age did you do this?
I would probably say about 6th or 7th grade and up, I would say.
And do you think your dad is completely oblivious to your tactic?
That's,
Do you think you fooled him? To this day, do you think you got him?
So this is how I know I did it, because you saying that just made me think about it,
Just now realized.
which makes me be like, oh yeah, I'm dumb. Of course he knew. So no, I think Harold knew the whole time. Damn it.
You didn't realize until just
No,
now
it literally never crossed
that
my
you
mind.
couldn't outsmart your father as a 7th grader.
No,
I think
didn't.
I think the age though.
I thought I had him.
Justin, I think is hitting the nail on the head with regards to the age. I think
Middle
it's at
school.
10, 11, 12. You're 11, 12, what, in 6th, 7th grade?
Yeah, about.
somewhere in
More
there.
or less, right? I think that's where you start thinking that you are capable of outsmarting your parents.
Yeah, that's about the age for sure.
That's where it starts with, okay, I don't have homework when you really do, or I don't have to do that part of the project yet when you really do, and this goes right along with it with I can figure out a way to hide the candy
Right.
without my dad getting it.
I don't know. I felt like my plan was pretty foolproof. Like, they were asleep when I went and got.
So-
I think I initially got away with it, but at some point they probably saw the bag of candy.
Well, your dad also wakes up pretty early, doesn't he? Probably before you.
Extremely before the sun, for sure.
So he probably found it at some point.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Regardless, I think you had 90% of the tactic there with
Yes.
separating the candy. I think you could have one-upped it by sorting it and separating it.
I mean,
Because you always get a lot of crap candy
oh my gosh.
that you're not going to necessarily want anyways. And then you always get some really good stuff.
Did you
don't
guys
want
ever
to just
have?
take half of it and dump it in a bag and keep it, because then you're keeping 50% of the crap too.
Right, exactly. You got
gotta
like the
sort
oatmeal
through
bars
it.
in
A
there.
quick sort. I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't take too much time.
Right.
But I think you got to quick sort it, get the good stuff, separate it out, hide it,
Right.
and then present your findings as
I
whatever's
love that.
left over.
Present your findings. Did you guys in your neighborhood have the family that gave out the king size bars ever? Did you have that?
Not for me.
No.
Oh man, there was one in our neighborhood, but everybody knew you had to get there first because it was a finite, you know, they weren't going to last all night long. And they were there. They'd only give you one, but you would get a full king size candy bar. So yeah, I mean, I made sure I pulled that one out. When I was little, I think the Skittles and the Starburst were my go. I was never big on the chocolate. I was like, I'll leave the whatever those in there.
Now, question.
Yeah.
So, the government only taxes you on what you report to the government you made.
That's exactly right. That's
So,
exactly right.
If
And that's
your
what I
kid
was doing.
hides a bag of candy outside by the garage and waits for you to go to sleep before they
Yes.
move it to a new hiding space behind their bed, not that anybody would ever do that.
No.
If the parents were to find said stashed bag of money or candy
Mm-hmm.
that was not properly reported when filing their taxes, is the tax higher on that second bag of candy?
1,000%. They are definitely going to take more. And we would always we had like a giant bowl that sat on top of the refrigerator for what felt like the whole year.
Yeah, no, that stuff lasts.
Yeah, I mean, it's none of it's real, so it'll literally last, you know, forever. It's half plastic, so it doesn't really matter. I don't even know why they wrap it up. But yeah, so we would do that, and then from that point on, once it's in that bowl, now I have to ask if I can have the candy. So the government in this case has full control of my funds. So it's out of my hands at that point. While they're at home, I should say.
Well, I think a household
I didn't
with
get
small
this bod
children is
from
more
nowhere.
comparative to a dictatorship than a.
Oh, certainly.
So the government tells you what you can and can't have.
Yeah.
So it's-
in no way,
a
shape, or
certain
form was
extent.
this a democracy at all.
To a certain extent. You're allowed to have a piece of candy, but whether that piece of candy is a Snickers or a Reese's
Right.
or a Milky Way or
Now, that brings me to a good point. Next, let's kind of change gears here. As a dad, what's the highest taxable candy on this one? Because my taste has certainly changed, but
Yeah, I certainly go. Well, Ryan,
You know.
do you want to chime in or?
I want to, before you move on too fast, and I'll help
Sure,
you
sure.
transition here a little bit. I will say that my point of view has changed with regards to that, because what my strategy was I knew that there was no hiding or getting around it. So I think Drew hit the nail on the head with the sorting.
that's what they want
I
you to
would
think.
sort the Tootsie Pops and the Tootsie Rolls, and like I wasn't big on lemon drops or Raisinets or any of that stuff. I'd put that in one pile, and I offered it up. I was like, you know what? This is going to be the community family candy bowl, because Mom usually had a candy bowl that was kind of a, hey, you got a sweet tooth, grab a piece of candy from the candy bowl. You got guests coming over to the house, here's a candy bowl, sort of thing. So I offered that up as a tax, which may be 20%,
Okay,
25%.
so you were trying to make an investment in like a 401k in order for a tax refund.
That's exactly right.
I wasn't trying to get
In
a
a way,
refund.
I'm gonna
It was
invest
more like,
this away, or a tax deduction, I should say.
It was
There
more
you
like
go.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
invest this
but it wasn't-
away for
It wasn't a
reduced
deduction.
taxes.
No, let's say you get 100 pieces of candy. It's like you make $100,000. I'm still giving them $20,000. I'm just giving them $1 bills and quarters. I'm not giving them my hundreds. My $100 bills, my Milky Ways, and my
But you still
my Three
get some. You still
Musketeers.
get the dividends of those from the community bowl.
Yes,
All right,
So it's an investment.
could be.
let me jump in here real quick, and this isn't even to add on to this conversation in any productive way, Can we
There's
all agree
nothing
that
productive about this conversation.
no, nothing.
Not yet.
If you're listening
We'll
to
get to
this
the
podcast,
to the actual
and you're
taxation.
like, oh man, when am I going to get some real fatherhood advice? Go ahead and wait till next Friday because it's not
No,
here.
just wait
It's
until
just
the
not
end
here.
of this podcast,
Yeah,
and that's
it's not
when we're
here.
gonna. You have to listen all the way through. Don't fast forward. Listen all the way through the podcast, and when we get to the end, that's where the good information is.
all the way till the end. And you also have to subscribe and like, and then anyway. But can everybody agree that Three Musketeers is the most overrated candy bar in the history of mankind?
Maybe years ago it was overrated. I don't think it's overrated now. People just don't like it now.
That's a good point. It might be. Who's buying it? I mean, it's still for sale. I've never been with somebody and
Because
they
it's
were
just
like,
in those bags, the mixed bags.
yeah,
Bang
but like
for
a king size.
buck, though, it was the longest candy bar. It was almost twice the length of a Snickers or Milky Way.
Because it's trash. It's just
No,
nougat.
it was good. It was
No.
so good. It was more
No.
like a chocolate mousse. It wasn't the same nougat. No,
So
the
see,
nougat
and
was in.
this is where we got into a whole other thing, being three brothers. And Ryan, you know exactly where I'm going with this because it happened
course.
with the stockings, it happened with Thanksgiving, or with
Easter,
Halloween, it happened with Easter, it happened consistently and year
Regularly.
round. Trading.
Ooh.
We had the stuff we wanted, we had
Yeah.
the stuff we didn't want, and we would create piles of what is available for trade and what's
I love
not
that.
available for trade. And then we would actually trade amongst ourselves and our
Right.
parents
There you go.
for the pieces that we wanted. And then I think
What
in
are-
the end it would all end up in a community pile that mom and dad controlled anyways.
Absolutely. What are the non-tradables?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Absolutely.
I was going to say peanut butter
agree.
cups. When I was a kid, a
Off the
lot of the
table.
like candy stuff that's like completely not real food of any kind that
Yeah.
was valuable. Like the Skittles and things like that. I don't really enjoy those as much anymore. I like the Reese's
love
and the
it.
chocolate and the Hershey's and
Yeah.
I like the things that are, Snickers. It's peanuts, it's caramel, it's chocolate. I enjoy that, and the stuff like the Laffy Taffies and I don't really care
not
for
Laffy Taffy.
the fake candy.
The
I
Laffy
don't know if you
Taffy was
understand what I'm saying.
fine,
It's
but
like it's
the banana Laffy Taffy was literally
No,
throwaway.
well.
What about the
it
little?
still is.
What about the Tootsie? I didn't mind the Tootsie Rolls, but like the yellow and the pink. What were those?
The off-brand flavor.
What
Tootsie
was
Roll things.
that?
No, Tootsie
Who's
Rolls were
eating
okay
those?
in small doses, but
Literally, yeah.
The
Somebody
other
gives you
stuff-
like a king size Tootsie Roll.
well, you've
No.
seen the skinny long ones, right? No.
Yeah,
No. I do
you
the
rip
little-
your teeth out of your skull with those things. They're
No.
they're dangerous.
The other one off the
Absolutely.
table that goes missed, that at least for me, I would be open to trading certain Jolly Ranchers, but the cherry Jolly Ranchers
Ooh.
off the table.
See, for me, it was the blueberry Jolly Rancher. I think
blue
the blueberry.
raspberry.
is
Blue
superior.
raspberry.
raspberry.
Yeah,
is the
there
key.
you go.
Everything else
Blueberry?
is the trash.
Did you just say blueberry? Blue raspberry.
Blue raspberry.
Is it blue raspberry? Look
Yes,
at look
it
at
is.
this. Look at my body. Does it look like
He's
I
a
was
dinosaur.
reading
Don't expect him to be
before
smart.
I was eating? It wasn't. No, I see color. I eat. I like. That's all.
Blue raspberry and
That's all I
cherry
need.
were off the table. Sour apple, I could get Steve with just about every single time.
Dime a dozen sour
He,
apples.
he would go
Dime
for
a
the sour
dozen.
apple though, and I could trade for his cherry or blue. Yeah.
Yeah. So as a dad now that we're much older, mature, wiser is questionable. Smarter probably. What's the candy now? What are you getting bang for your buck when you're digging in?
When I'm taking it from them, it's all the chocolate type stuff. The
I
Hershey's,
feel like
the
it's still the
Snickers,
Reese's
the
peanut
Reese's
butter.
peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
Those are all mine.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm fortunate Matthew is not a huge fan of peanut butter in general.
Oh
so
my gosh.
That's an easy score.
God bless you. That's what I'm
Katie
talking
kind
about.
of likes it, but neither of them like nuts, so that takes Snickers too. So Snickers and Reese's are automatics for me. Katie will eat the Reese's, so I allow that, but
I allow it. That's a
I
dictatorship.
allow it.
I can appreciate that. Absolutely.
That's how dictatorships work.
Absolutely.
I am starting, unfortunately, to see a lot more granola.
Ooh.
And if you're
Where?
listening, if you're listening and you're a parent and you're trying to be healthy on Halloween, just shut your door, turn your lights off,
Please
and
don't.
watch a movie. Nobody likes, well, I shouldn't say nobody likes you. Maybe people like you. But if they find out you're giving out granola on Halloween, they won't like you. So just
Have you ever gotten the toothbrush though?
Especially not granola.
Oh, we do. We had dentists in our neighborhood, and they would give out toothbrushes. Now
Did they
would
give out candy with it?
They would give out candy, which is
Okay.
I'm like, all right, that's fine. They would do a little thing of toothpaste and then a toothbrush, and then you would pick your candy. So it's like, all right,
And then you
fine.
would go back later that night and throw the toothbrush in the lawn.
Oh yeah, you
They
know
wake
how
up
like
in the morning to 100 toothbrushes in their lawn.
that's exactly what we wanted to do, but our parents thought better, and quite frankly, we were in a coma from all the candy. So, but yeah, we would get the toothbrush. But as long as you're giving out candy with it, I see no problem.
Who does granola? I've seen like grapes. I've seen like fruit versions of, but who does granola?
I mean, at least not like
I don't think I've
loose
seen the
granola,
Maybe,
but like
maybe
a
that's the thing where
granola
you're at.
Seen
bar.
granola?
Yeah, like a
Like the
granola,
granola
bar.
bar?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen
Oh,
that a
that's
whole
a
lot down
sin.
here. My biggest frustration here
course
in
it is.
South Florida is I feel like having grown up in Ohio, it was common knowledge that if you don't want people to come to your house, you leave the light off, and if you want
Yes.
people to come to your house, you leave the
Front
light
porch
on.
light.
Absolutely.
Front porch
If
It's
the porch
just-
light is on,
yeah.
then you're open for business, and if the porch light is off, you're not. And I don't feel like people understand that at all down here.
That's
not one
incredibly
bit.
stupid. Yeah.
Not one
I
bit.
don't. I don't.
It's just and that I find rather frustrating.
Yeah, that's dumb. Like, and now if you have lights off, but you have like a couple pumpkins lit, like you're probably asking for a couple door knocks. But okay, now and we're almost finished up here. But it's not as dumb as the person who leaves the bag of candy on the front porch that says "Take one."
Those are funny.
There's nothing
Whole bowl
dumber than
full
that.
of candy. You see
There's
the
nothing-
first person walk up and just dump it.
Is there a more hopeful person in the entire world? Like, they think these. It's just, yeah, you're dumping the whole thing. And then you get to that house, and the note's not even left. Somebody took the note. Like, there's just a little piece of tape hanging there. It's all gone. It's just rabid.
An empty bowl.
Maybe. I'm taking the bowl, honestly. Like, I walk to your house, I'm getting something. I'm going to take a flower. I'll take a light bulb out of the front porch. I'm getting something from your house. I need it. I want it.
I would love. I've seen so many different variations of this, Justin. My kids are really into Mark Rober and his YouTube videos. That if something doesn't exist, Mark, if you're listening to our channel, which we totally love to have you on as a guest because you're a dad,
I'm sure he
We need to
listens.
engineer.
Oh, big fan. Big fan.
We need to engineer a system that forces the bowl one at a time. And I think even just I've seen people set up cameras right in front of it saying you're on camera, but then to have a actual video screen, like when you walk into certain
Like a mirror.
food marts or something
Right,
like
right.
that, or 7-Eleven, right? They've got the camera on you. I'm sure it's recording into some DVR, something in the back in case of a robbery.
But you could
but
see
they
you.
also have a TV screen that you can look
Yes.
up and wave at yourself. And if they had a TV screen just inside the window showing your face in the candy bowl, at
It would
least it's a
help.
little bit of a deterrent. And then to do
That I don't think that's a deterrent at all. Everybody's in costumes with masks. Nobody's going to know anything. I think
And
the if you're getting Mark Rover involved, then I think what you create is a dispenser of some kind, where giant container of candy and I don't know, some type of maybe an Alexa system or something where they say trick or treat and it spits out a piece of candy.
Yeah.
but it's got to be a different voice every time so that you
Every
don't have to
time-
stand there and repeat.
And if you break the
Even
rules,
if
some
they
sort
stand
of
there and repeat, it's
some sort of
one
li-
at a time.
if you're committed to standing there every 30 seconds, then fine, have it all,
It's
fatty.
one at a time.
If you want it, you got it, man. It's all you. Because at that point, people are walking up behind you, and if you're prepared to like stand
them
your
off.
ground, then you win. You win all the candy. It's fine. Or you
That's
could
an
apply
interesting point. Yeah.
you could apply some sort of very light, very docile shocking mechanism. It doesn't have just enough to scurry you along into the
Maybe it's
night.
like
That's
a
all.
pressure plate that then launches you.
I think
into
he
the next
created
shark.
his own like stink spray that you could like.
That could work.
With
Yeah.
the
If you're
candy.
standing on the plate too long without releasing the pressure, it douses your costume in this stink spray.
Yeah, but as a fat person, I'm going, well, I'm already smelly. I'm just going back now. I can't stink any more than I already stink, right?
So, question: most of our kids are 10 or less.
Right.
Do you go trick-or-treating with your kids?
I will go with the kid if I think dressing up is probably what you're really wanting to know here.
Well, the first
I
and
would
foremost
agree
question
that's
is,
the
are
better
you
question.
with them? Are you sending them out
Yeah,
alone,
no,
or are
they
you
can't
with
go
them?
back. No,
it depends on
So
the
you're
neighborhood.
with them.
It certainly
So
depends on the
when
neighborhood.
you walk up to the house, do you take a piece of candy too?
No, I've got the dad tax.
No. Now I will say, there's a lot of really good, spectacular fathers out there and families out there. Not a lot, but they'll give out little shots from time to time to parents walking around with their kid. That works for me.
So
I
you'll
can
take a
handle it.
shot, but at a typical house with candy,
Yeah.
your kid
No,
gets the
I'm not.
candy
No,
and
no.
walks
Not
away.
taking
You
it.
don't take any candy.
I'm not taking, but if somebody offers, oh yes.
Now, do you
Oh,
begin
yes.
the dad tax during the walk? Like as they're collecting, are you paying attention and seeing like, oh, okay, great, I'm gonna, and like
Yeah, I
you're
mean, that's-
walking
that's-
down the street already going
that's-
through their candy?
That's economy 101. That's income tax. You got to monitor it. You got to monitor it
Right.
close too. Absolutely. I'm paying. If I'm going on the walk, I'm paying attention to what the income is for sure. But
But not just paying attention, you're collecting.
yeah, absolutely. From time to time. I mean, I'm walking. I deserve a little something, right?
Of course, got to keep the energy up.
That's fair. Now, as far as dressing up, I feel like if I am
No.
in conjunction with the child, like, let's say he was
Adam's
like, oh,
family.
Adam's
Scooby-Doo.
family, or I saw somebody last year. It was cool. One of them was Maverick, and the dad was Iceman. That was cool.
No, I wouldn't want to take away the attention from my kids.
Yeah,
So I
I'm sure that's-
sacrifice.
Listen,
And
here on the
don't
Common
dress
Dad,
up.
we are not attention seekers.
You
okay?
are so
We are
altruistic,
not.
Drew.
It's thinking of the kids here.
We're yeah,
Right.
absolutely. But
No, I don't mind wearing certain costumes. What I've enjoyed recently or what I thought has been really cool in at least the last couple of neighborhoods I've been in is I live in a heavily Hispanic populated community. Your families will deck out the driveways in like a mini outdoor Halloween party. So they'll have pastelitos out, they'll have snacks, they'll have the charcuterie boards, and
I'm sorry, let me stop you there. The what boards?
What kind of board?
Charcuterie.
Okay.
Charcuterie boards.
And then
Charcuterie.
before that, for all the white people, what did you say before that?
Pastelitos.
What is that?
They're like kind of like glazed croissant. Like if you imagine like donut glazed croissants with cheese or fruit inside.
Oh, I'm imagining. That
They
sounds
are
incredible.
delicious, but
That's
they're
like
more
a
adult
crepe
type
on the
snacks,
go.
right? Right.
Sure.
Pastelitos are
So-
okay, but it's all about the croquetas.
But yes, it is. Drew is absolutely correct.
Well, what?
100%.
Hold on. What is that?
Croquetas
We've
are
already
little,
talked about this.
Yeah. Instead
Look
of
at me.
talked about-
Does it look,
Imagine-
do I come across as a person that remembers things?
Oh my
Imagine a fried
gosh.
mozzarella stick that you get from TGI Fridays, but instead of mozzarella cheese in the middle, it's like a chopped up ham.
Does it have
It's delicious.
cheese? Does it still have cheese?
No, but you can get cheese croquetas.
Are there any rules against this? This
No,
sounds
there's
incredible.
chicken, cheese, and ham.
All right, listen. We got to go because I got to take this mask off. And we're not talking about Dad's cask anymore. So, because I'm sweating profusely. And I think my nose is bleeding. I'm not sure. Could be blood, could be beer. We've all been there. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening and, of course, watching. Thank you 1,000 times. Let us know
Heart out.
who.
Heart out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to pass out here in a minute. It's not good. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you can hear me. I can't even see the microphone. Sorry for all the microphone booms. Do not forget to go on Instagram, follow us on The Common Dad. Do not forget to go on Facebook, follow us, and of course on our brand new YouTube channel, The Common Dad Podcast. Like, subscribe, follow. Thank you guys so much for listening. And of course, happy holidays. Good evening. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode of The Common Dad Podcast. Let us know if you liked the video by giving us a thumbs up. Even if you didn't, give it a thumbs up anyway. Be sure to subscribe, click the bell to get notifications every time we post a new video. Also, do not forget to follow us on Instagram at @the_common_dad and on Facebook at The Common Dad so you can let us know your thoughts on today's episode.